Hey friends, it's Beck with Beautiful Mess Plans, and I'm here to film a back page flip through. I had done this a while ago, and I think that was when I was setting up. I don't remember exactly. I probably should have done a little research before. I was like, let's do this. On if I did it to show what I'm doing in the back pages, or if that was like how I use my back pages of my last planner. I don't remember. If I remember while I'm editing this, hey, editing me. When I post this, I will put like a little thumbnail thingy up, not thumbnail, but the little thing that comes across the top. What is that thing called? That slides and it's like, watch this video and you can click on it if you want. If not, I just thought that I would give you a peek at the back pages of my Sterling ink. So my main planner is a B6 Sterling ink. I get the large size. What is that? That has the 500 some page, 367 pages in the back. I don't remember if it has a name. It's got more pages than not. And I get it because I don't tend to use up all of the pages, but I may come closer this year because of how I'm using it differently. But I thought we would flip through how I'm using it. And then if you guys use them differently, because some people will use these as like back daily pages. I don't do that. I'm not a daily page user. I used to be when once upon a time I was a bullet journaler and I would do dailies, and I like lived and died by dailies, and I don't do it anymore. And maybe one day we'll do a flip through of some of my old bullet journals, like how I started into planning world. But so I know some people use these as like daily pages, journaling pages. I don't like to have my journaling stuff in here. I know it says journal, like I'm literally talking about that, but this, it's different, trust me. So I don't use that for that. I use these for random things, almost more bullet journal style. So I thought we'd flip through and, yeah. So my first section that I have it does say journal, but these are specifically the journaling prompts that we get from Cocoa Daisy in the Cocoa Daisy journaling kit. I keep my personal journal completely separate. So these are literally just the answers to the journaling prompts. So it comes on like a thick cardstock. So I make a copy of it on my printer and just print it out on regular printer paper. So it's not as bulky because it would bulk up really fast. And then I actually just use, I use this stencil that came in a set from Amazon to do my numbers. I just use whatever color and, just decorate it. And I had pre-laid out all the months, so 4 pages per month, because that's about the amount I need. Although I didn't do the 10th day in March, I only finished through day 5. April, I finished through day 7. And then right now, I've only done the first journaling prompt, but I have enough to get me through the rest of the year, 4 pages. And then my next section is notes, which I haven't stamped anything. And this is the random stuff. This is like the bullet journal style things that I move every year, but also it's just a place for me to just do kind of the fun stuff. So first up, I have my coloring tracker, which I do color by number. These Disney Tomes color by number. They're French coloring books. I love them. And it's just a way, and there's 100 pages, 100 pages, which I need to color that one because I finished this tome. And I haven't started another one. I have a whole bunch of them, and I have several of them started. I just don't have them all written down, and this isn't enough for the amount that I have. But the ones like I'm actively working on, it's just a fun way to like visually track it. Again, not necessary. You can just color and do your hobbies without tracking things. So I have this. Next, I've been doing a Marvel watch through, which I think I need to add a couple here. We are currently on Black Widow. So I was doing it by myself. And then my family is like, oh, we're watching Marvel movies. And so now I can't watch them quite as quickly because we have to wait till movie night, especially with the school year. But now that it's wrapping up, we may get through it a little faster. But I'm currently on Black Widow, and it just takes me a while to get through them because, life and kids and all that. Next, I keep track of the Cocoa Daisy washi. that comes in the kit for the year. This is, again, just a fun kind of way to take a look at the washi. There's no purpose. It's just fun. And I had went ahead and like put out several pages for this because I knew that I was going to try to keep it all together. Hopefully I don't have to expand beyond this. And then next, house projects, which there's probably a couple things that I can add to this list that basically is just like, here's my activity, here's what I want to do, here's like little tasks underneath it. And then, you know, we haven't done much. Some story ideas for writing. I keep track of my nail wraps that you always see, different ones. I like to track, you know, so especially if there's holidays and stuff, just like which ones I want to switch to. So I don't have to think about it during the week. Like I get a new set, like I buy some new ones and I'm like, oh, we can, or I'm like, hey, I don't have any fall ones and I need Halloween, you know, things like that. So that way I'm not like overbuying and ending up with like a ton of Christmas and it's like, well, I only needed 4 sets of them or whatever. So I'm good up until August 1st. I have all that I want for the summer, and then, you know, we'll be fall shopping for them. So yeah, so that's how I keep track of that. That's my 40 before 40 list. I am 38 and I was like, oh, I should do a 40 before 40 list. I have written down 5 things. Zone cleaning. I've done zone cleaning before. And I was like, I'm going to do that again this year. I have not really done it this year, but if I want to do it, you know, give it another shot, probably not until the school year restarts because summer is just chaos and you're just trying to do the bare minimum. Then I have our 2025 vacation plan. So notes here. I actually have most of my notes on this notepad from Wish Upon Magic. But I have more room to make notes and decide things. And then here was a 2026 vacation plan idea, which involves more national parks. It's a bigger trip. And I really want to go to Glacier National Park. Like that's big on my to-do list, like my want list. I've been to Mount Rushmore. I'd like to go to Wind Cave. Never been to Yellowstone. I don't have as big of an interest. Like I'd like to go to Yellowstone, but Glacier National Park is where I really want to go. Yeah. And Tallgrass Prairie is actually here in Kansas where I live. It's not that far away from us. We just haven't been. So that's on the list too. And then I've been rewatching all the Disney Pixar movies in order. Haven't got very far. But I don't know. It's just kind of a fun thing. I love Disney. And so I wrote them out in order so that I could kind of watch them as they, you know. And then here is a declutter list that actually I copied from one of my bullet journals when I did a massive decluttering and my house could use a massive decluttering. When I did it before, I broke it down like, okay, I focused on all the clothing, I focused on the books, I really haven't dove into this. I would love to, but it's here when I'm ready. And then I have my waiting on list, which I haven't updated because I actually have 2 things I'm waiting on. So I'll get to that. Valentine's gift, like Valentine's Day ideas. This is just like places for me to jot stuff down. And then I decided I wanted to start tracking my projects that I do each month. So my hobbies and stuff, just to see like what I'm doing. Again, completely fun. Like it's not a like, oh, I have to complete this many things or I have to do this much. It's just a fun way to see like what I did for that month. So like you can see the pictures I colored, my crochet projects, my woobles. I made this little house, one of those miniature like houses you put together. And I got a little farther on my diamond painting. And then same, I did February's, which I did less projects, which I was really sick in February. I was sick twice. I had the stomach bug and then I got the actual flu. So the fact that I accomplished anything is quite miraculous, truly. But yeah, it's just a fun way to track things. So, and then this was for my son's birthday. I like to track like what we get them for their birthday, just because it's kind of nice to look back and be like, when did we do that? Just one of those things. And then I had decided in February that I didn't want to keep a book journal. It was too much. Like, I know I was sick in February, but it just felt like too much. So I decided I wanted to simplify it, although I loved that book journal. It was so well made. It was so pretty. It was just too much. So I was like, well, I still like to track and see what I'm reading. So I'm going to just put it in here. And I am loving this because I'm not like, I don't mind reviews, but I don't love reviews. And then I decided that I didn't want all the extra stuff. I didn't want to have like, oh, here you need to have like, you can color in like the rainbows. And I am such a mood reader, and there is pages that I might eventually add. Like, I like to track my series, like where I'm in the series. I love that. I think an unread bingo is still fun. And I like to like track my favorite book and like see what my very favorite book was for the year. And that's stuff that is not in here right now, but it is things that I could add, and probably next year, because the system is working so well, I'm probably going to stick with it for the third year in a row. I will actually lay out a book section very similar to like how I pre-laid out my journal section, or my journal section. I will pre-lay out a book section as well with some of those pages that I do care about. Like the A to Z challenge is kind of fun, just for kicks and giggles, but it's not like nothing too serious, but it doesn't overwhelm me. So anyway, I kept it simple because I think it's fun to visually see like how fast I'm reading. Again, not that it matters. Like, there are some months that I read way less because I'm actually in a reading slump right now. Like, I'm just trying to get through books. I have a book that, it's not a bad book. It's just that I am in a reading slump. But I was able to read, I print out my book, like, I think these are 1.5 by 1, and they're actually printed on clear, on the my transparent sticker paper, so that they're not like getting real bulky. And then I just had made myself some stars so I can rate my books, and I keep track of what I bought, my stats, again, just for fun, and then my anything that I DNF, because I'm really bad about like repicking up a book, and I'm like, wait, this book is familiar. And then I'm like, wait, I already DNF'd this book. And so it just keeps it super simple. Like March, I was in a reading rut. I didn't read a lot of books. I just was not. It took me a long time to get through them. April, I was back to reading again. And I do listen to books as well. I listen to books while I cut. And cut orders. That sounded weird. While I cut orders. And yeah. And then so far, this is where we are in May. I've listened to 3 out of the 4 of these books I've listened to. So it's not, I listened to Stuck With You, First Time Caller, and The Mirror, and I read The Sunrise Reaping. And I'm currently working on a book. It's just, I'm being slow this month. Some months I'm faster than others. And I pre-laid out what I needed for the rest of the year in here. But I may eventually add a series tracker. It just won't be with the book section specifically. I love Woobles, and this is my Woobles wish list. And this is my wish list. So I just bought myself a new set because I told myself that if I finish the 6 weeks of my workout program, because I'm still trying to get myself back into the habit of working out, if I finished all 6 weeks every day, well, 5 days a week, for 6 weeks, I could get myself a new set of Woobles that I really wanted, a dinosaur set. And I did it. I finished it today, actually, and I'm super pumped. So anyway, that's my wish list. TV show tracker that I am terrible at updating. I don't know why I keep trying to do these, because I never keep them up to date, because I'm somewhere in here in bones right now. And then I have my Easter spread where I kept track of the food to do, and then what I put in their baskets. And then some quotes from some books. And then my March projects. We were going to Branson, so I was making some notes on some pricing of things. And then my April projects. And then that's it. So now I have up to, this chunk of pages are unused, and I'm not going to use all of them, but we'll discuss why I will still use a big chunk of them if we flip to the back. So I'm not going to open this first page because I put down measurements and I didn't cover them up. But I decided that I like to kind of track some of my fitness stuff. And I like to, after I work out, write a little blurb about how it went. I think it just kind of gives me a chance to kind of think about like, what did I do better? And there's, you know, to me, there's some benefits. Do I ever go back and reread them? Not really. Sometimes I do if I redo a program. Because I like to do like DVDs and the Moms into Fitness stuff and things like that. And so if I'm like, hey, I did this before, what did I think about it before? I sometimes like will glance through my stuff, but mostly it's just for me to kind of like decompress after. But this is my fitness and health section. You can kind of see through the page, but I had printed out like a silhouette of a person, and I have measurements. And then I have a weight tracker that's like just like graph form. And then I have the before pictures. We'll do after, like at the end of the year, my non-scale victories. And then I started in January. So I have energy and sleep here. I wear a Garmin watch, and that's where I get the information from. Well, not the energy, but the sleep and the steps that I just kind of give a rough idea. It's not exact of like how many steps, how did I sleep? And then I kind of rate my own energy. And then over here, I just keep it pretty simple with my little blurb that I write about whatever program I'm on. So January was not the best start. I didn't work out very many days. And then we were into February. I was sick. So February was a let's just survive kind of month. And then back into March, and I finally got back into exercise, so it fills up the page more, where you can see this. And then I did decide that I wanted to do, it was 2 per page, just a little calendar that I could just write down real quick what workout I had planned for that day, just so I can kind of know what's, you know, like, oh, I'm about to run into my vacation time or whatever. I can actually, while we're here, cross off those 2 days. So I have enough to, again, I went ahead and went through the end of the year, but I didn't think to do this when I was first setting up. So it's just in the middle, which is fine. And then we're into May, and I need to kind of update this. But then you have my workouts, and I haven't written for the last 2 days, but I will. And so that will, you know, that's working this way because I didn't know how many pages I needed. So I'm working backwards to forward. So that'll take up, you know, still a decent amount of pages. And I will still have a decent amount of pages for me to use for my back pages. So, yeah, well, we'll put this page up. So yeah, that's what I have. That's how I use my back pages. I know everybody kind of uses them differently, just for notes, for daily stuff, for journaling. But because I don't use it that way, and I'm always interested in how people use, especially in their Sterling inks where there is so many back pages, how they use their back pages, I just thought I would do a flip through, an updated flip through. Again, I don't even remember. I really should have done my research on how I did it before. It may have just been like this, the basic setup of my back pages, or I may have flipped through last year's book. I don't know. But that's how I use mine. So that is what I have. I hope this is helpful to someone, or at least somewhat entertaining, or if you were just curious to what are all these mystery pages in the back that I never flip through during my plan with me, is because that's a good chunk of the book. That's what I do. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop rambling. And I'm gonna say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.